Alright, got the decals off this one, started to sand it. Plastic welded up a big crack. That was all just split right apart. Man, the paint looks good under there where I peeled the decal off. But you can see most of the rest of these ain't all that great. But everybody loves the look of these FX edition phasers. I get a lot of comments on this sled. So I decided, hey, why don't I make a clone of one of these out of my Phazer 2? So I'm going to take all the black panels off of my Phazer 2, you know, where it's white on this one. And I've got this extra set of blue panels. They're not perfect, but, you know, fairly decent shape, other than a little sanding required here and there and there and there and there and there and there. And I'm going to paint them all up white. Get a friend to make me up some of the original decals, plus some custom ones of my own. We'll turn this into a FX clone. Let's see how we make out. Alrighty, well, I got it pretty well good and stripped now. It's going to be just a light scuff and shoot. I don't want to go perfection on this because, well, I'm going to crash it into trees and everything else anyways, so who cares? Took 220 to it and then just a Scotch pad. Rattle can rebuild, cheapest shit on the shelf. Armor coat, I think. See how that'll hold up. Wasn't much left in that guy. Might have to run out to crap the tire and pick some more up. I wonder how much trouble I'm gonna get in for being out here painting Christmas Day and all my new fancy clothes. Guess there's only 7 ways to find out. Oh man, this tip is bad. Look at what I just did there. I can hear all the pro painters in the comments now. Ah, man! You didn't prep it right. No, I didn't. Look at that. Gross. Look at that. Gross. Don't worry. First coat. Give her a good little sand off. It'll sit by the wood stove for a bit and bake. A couple more coats. It won't look terrible. I got some nice decals in mind anyways. I think it'll really make this sucker pop. I want to do them real close to the original FX edition decals, but some minor changes. Still thinking on what to call this one. We call my other black one Phased and Confused, because I've been working on it for so long, it's confusing the hell out of me. Yeah, maybe we open the doors. She's getting a little high in here. I gotta think of a clever name for this one too. You know the process. There it goes. She's starting to look better already. A little bit more on that one. Now I'm gonna wait while I shoot these suckers. See if this one works any better. Oh yeah. Look at that. I wonder how much of that's going in my beer. All right, that's pretty much all we got. Well, it took me a minute. I've been pissing around on other jobs, but I'm back at the Phazer Plastics. I did a couple of coats last time I was doing videos. Did some wet sand, 1000 grit wet sand. They're not going to be perfect. They're bad plastics. Look at this one. You can see all the digs in it. You know, things are ripped off of it. They're a spare set of plastics. It is what it is. I'm not looking for perfect. I'm gonna smash it into trees and roll it and do whatever. So it doesn't need to be perfect to start with, because it's never gonna be perfect. But picked up the cheapest can of spray paint on the market from Crappy Tire. Ready to do some clear on these, and then again wet sand and clear and wet sand and clear. And I started talking to my friend that makes all my decals and gave her a design. Hopefully we can get something hammered out and she can make me something. I want to go with like a burgundy orange or burgundy red orange kind of thing. Make it look like the FX Phazer. I really like the look of them, and I get a lot of comments on that old FX Phazer. So let's see how that turns out. All right, we'll let that set up for a second. find out where all the oil is, because, you know, it'll do the thing. I've also got the soldering iron warming up. I'm just going to go down this crack with the soldering iron, seal it back together. It does separate. So if I run the soldering iron down it, at least it'll be all one piece. And then I'm going to paint that windshield black on the back side here, so that on the front side it still looks really nice and shiny. You don't have to clear coat it or mess around or anything. But it'll be like a tinted windshield. Just tinted windshields look cooler. And this one will be actual black, which will match the rest of the machine, because if you've seen my Phazer 2 and my other videos, the machine is currently black. So when I put all these white plastics on it, it's gonna have all kinds of white and black accents. So this windshield is gonna look really good against the white. Ignore how terrible the lines are. I did not tape anything off. I just oversprayed. At which point now I'm thinking I may just paint the back side of this white, because there's another trim piece that goes over here that's black, where your gauges go through the middle of it. Should look pretty good. He said we're not going for perfect, because these are all field sleds. We are going to trash them. That's why I'm not replacing a windshield that's cracked. Who cares? Run it. You can make these sleds look perfect. You know, buy newer parts that don't have cracks in them. And then you're scared to drive the thing. Like, I want to be able to roll it and not cry. So that's my goal with this whole build of all of it. I want a really cool looking machine that I can trash and not get upset about it. All I could find was brown. Whatever. I used the trim clad on my plow, I think. So I put a coat of brown on it. Hopefully it just looks, you know, dark and tinted. We'll see. When I get her out in the sunlight, might look like shit, and I'll just replace it with one of my other good windshields. Then I did a little bit of the white around the outsides. That's just first coat. It's covered in black, so it's gonna look like shit. It's done though. Let that dry up. This stuff's almost dry. Oh yeah, that clear coat's dry. So I'm gonna hit it with some Smooth Me Out 5000. Ooh, the white paint's dry too. Yeah. So I'm gonna hit it with the scuff pad, smooth it out a little bit. It's almost like a sanding. Scuff pad it, and then I'll hit it all again. It's coming out okay. You can see orange peelies. But when a snowmobile is driving by you at the, you know, the speed of Phazer, you're never gonna know. Especially when the decals are on it. Okay, updates. You know, it's pretty grainy. It's orange peely. Some of them look pretty good. Some of them look pretty don't. Here's the thing. When you want to paint something in your shop and you're kind of kicking back and going, well, I have a couple beer. Oh, something falls in the paint. You know to stop. Wait, fix it tomorrow. Don't pick it out with your fucking thumbnail. I wrecked it. I gotta start that spot over again. It's a big one. You can see it. You know, most of it, you can wet sand it out. It'll be great with another couple coats. Stuff like that, nope, can't do it. I thought, oh, I'm just gonna pick that little piece off, which is that guy right there. No, I'm not gonna mess with it a second time. Fuck that. Screwed up. Too many beers. Too many fumes. Other than that, it looks freaking great. Can't wait to see this thing on the machine with the decals on it. Right up until I smash her into a tree. So here's how it looks currently. The black and yellowy, silvery, you know. And a terrible seat. Really got to get that recovered. It's on the to-do list. So's Shock. Shock's screwed. She's completely shot. Yeah, I figured it's pissing rain out there. It's disgusting. I'm not going to be riding for at least a day or two. Well, we still have a little bit of snow left. It is raining. So I figure drag her in. All my girls, my daughters, and my wife, they've all got the flu. I'm sure I'm gonna get it hit me here any minute. So I'm staying in the shop. I'm gonna change this over, make her white. Once again, somebody didn't press record. So I was pulling the fairing off. These bolts down in here are notoriously bad for getting seized in there. They're on the very bottom, and it's all covered in. You never ever pull that piece off. They get seized up. Every one I've ever taken gets busted. You know, and I got a little rammy-jammy with that one. Didn't bother using heat and juice until, you know, it was too late. So I busted it, but I got plenty of Phazer parts around, so I'm just going to take this whole metal bracket off of another one rather than try to fight with, you know, getting that piece out. It's just easier. Got the parts, use them. So the old black fairing is off now. Time to get this sucker off of here, and I'll switch that bracket onto there. I'm keeping that headlight though. It's definitely way better than this one. We'll mount up the white fairing, and that's really the hardest part of this, because like these guys are 4 bolts, you know, and then all your little doodads that I gotta pull off and put on the other hood. But there's only 4 bolts up front, 4 10 mils. And then the cable tie. There's a couple of brackets inside it. Cable ties too, and these panels are just this little unscrew bob here, one little 10 mil there, you know, under the hood. One little 10 mil there, and then they just slide right out. The new ones slide right in. Pretty proud. Not even gonna bother. We'll go straight to the vice grips. we ain't breaking the backup part. That's no good. Alrighty. Wow, I think that's got her. One. Gone into another universe. No, just kidding. I found it. What in the... Yep, I'm seeing that right. Okay, somebody's had this apart before. Because these are red robbies. There ain't no red robbies in China. Never mind. Maybe they're green robbies. Where does the green robbie live? Oh, there's one. Weird. Far more effective than a Phillips though. Ta-da. Okay. So now we'll just take all this junk apart. Pull these little push clippies out. And then it's just an Allen, and then apart she goes. And then we'll screw her into the other one. Alright, hopefully you can see that. Just these 3 10 mils in here, gets that bracket off. We'll try not to break any of those either, you know. We'll just lose them instead. This is just the fanciest ratchet I own. This little snap-on guy. Fun fact, I don't own much for snap-on stuff. I got, you know, my daughter's toolbox there that was my uncle's. I refurbished it for her. But this ratchet, I found one in a belly pan of a snowmobile years ago. I've been flipping sleds for a very long time. And 4 or 5 years ago, I found one in a sled belly pan, just rusted completely solid. Had it sitting in a jug of oil. A buddy of mine come over, he's a mechanic. And he saw it and he's like, hey, since when do you get snap-on tools? I said, I found it in a sled and I'm trying to free it up. It's like, why? I don't know, because I want to use it. He's like, well, they have a lifetime warranty. I could take it in to my guy on the truck. So he took it into his buddy. Got me this sucker. They actually traded it. This is another refurbished ratchet, but it wasn't even the same style. That is wicked. Maybe there is something to buy in this Snap-on stuff if they're going to warranty something like that. Let go. There we go. Okay. So now we do the same thing. Take it over to the bench. And I was wrong. You don't got to back these out. That's just for adjusting. You just take these little clips off, and then the whole thing just slides right out. Bob's your uncle. Come on over here. Check it out. I'll show you. Yeah, I know. Workbench is a absolute disaster. It always is. That's how I roll. I got ADD. I'm always working on 15 things at once. So I never clean up after myself, ever. There you go. Pain in the butt. Bad did we scratch our headlight? Oh, not so bad at all. Alright. Need the fingers of a Chinaman. You know what? This is foolish. It's going to be a lot easier to put the that piece of plastic on with this off. The screws are way the heck underneath, and the same with these ones. So we're going to take that back off. We'll mount the other fairing to it before we put it back on there. I wonder if I should glue that. Maybe a little bit. Get these screws back in, and I'm definitely using the ones with the green Robbie. Not the big ones. This thing is so awkward to hold and handle. Hey, wait a minute. That's a Phillips, but a Robbie will work. Oh, just walked right into the toolbox with it. Yeah, Robbie works better than the Phillips. Boy, I'm gonna have some cleaning to do. Don't touch it with dirty hands, you fool. I like it already. not the kind of person that like anything I own can be white because I just get stuff dirty. I'm always greasy. But this thing lives in the snow. Should stay clean, kinda. My car and my truck are both white too. I'm gonna get the power ratchet. It's way more fun. Alright, here goes the hood. This side is the pain in the butt side because the exhaust is in the way. You can use the electric ratchet over there. Maybe get a ratchet onto that lower one. Where's all my 10 mils going? Again. Set some things down, you fool. You need your hands. Lovely spot. I wonder if I should put the PSI pipe on this thing while it's in here. I don't have the correct jetting for it yet, though. Wait a minute. I did a comparison video on the AN pipe to the PSI pipe. I really like the sound of both of them. I think the PSI is a little bit louder, but the AN has a nicer sound to it. But this one is getting the PSI eventually. It's supposed to be from a young lad's sled, but he ends up riding this one now. Off of there, little buddy. Another hood for my collection. I'll whip down, grab the white one, smudge it all up with my dirty mitt. Get some hair on that thing, come on. Alright. Why aren't you going in there? This hood is different. There's only one hole. Okay. Wow. Well, that's weird. Same size. Don't know. Can't tell. In here. Because, you know, sometimes you just gotta smash it in the hole. There she goes. Just wanted to test my patience first, didn't it? Oh man, this is not a good spot to work. Get started, you bugger. Alright. My assault ratchet. Kind of slick looking. Yeah, I can dig it. Black seat again, but white piping around it. Maybe I'll put some of the orange decals down the tunnel. Okay, we gotta put the little bumpers on it now. These little doodads just go on there. Put the little reflectors on the hood too. Just because there's holes in it, and that would bother me. Okay, so let's stick this one on right now. With my salt ratchet. Hiding over there. That was too tight for a plastic part. side, you fool. I'm gonna have to make some tabs and brackets and stuff for the one on the other side. Can't see it under there. All these suckers are bent, that's why. Covered in grease again. Whatever that is. Down to one. Yeah, I think it looks pretty cool. So I just took a brief break, made up a little bracket here. Just this guy here. I'm gonna bend it up, drill a hole. Bob's your uncle. I just had pliers. Oh, duh. Hammer time. Should just do a double. Put a nut on it. I like it. Pretty cool for a bush beater. Well, went out to the shed and I grabbed the PSI pipe. I decided I'm going to stick it on there, even though I haven't rejetted it for it yet. I'm going to order some. They call for 95 pilots and 148.8 mains with these pipes most of the time, depending on elevation and so on. But you can get away with it for a little while if you're just putting around and you're not opening the thing right up. Which I'm gonna do anyways and blow it up. I know. Live and learn, right? No. Nope. I'm not gonna learn. But I just like the sound of vroom, you know? And I'd like to hear the two phasers running. with the pipes side by side and see how they each sound. Phased and confused, it's got considerably more horsepower than stock. Get out of there, big old suitcase. Lightweight PSI Racing. Fancy schmancy. Get ordered. One thing I did notice last time I had this on, could have been because I was running so lean, but my other one's jetted pretty fat. Compared to, you know, this one being stock. I noticed it got really hot at the back of the pipe, up against the chain case and stuff. So we'll see how it does on this one. And you see, they're that simple if you gotta switch it back. Quick, easy swaps. Now, aside from this, it's I'm charging up the battery for it, and then I think we're ready to dig this thing out tomorrow. See how it looks in the daylight. Oh no, I gotta do my heated grips. Gotta look up the wiring on what colors does what. I can't remember. Well, let's see how she sounds with the PSI on it. Alright, I'm going to spin her around and take her out, see how it sounds opened up. Sounds alright. Don't run where's the dam. She's probably way too lean. Smells really rich, so maybe I'll go back in. Go to the 1.5 turns and go in a little bit. The plugs are reading a brown, so it should be pretty close. Starting to lean out a little bit more now. Hey. Tighten. Still not bad though. You ain't gonna be able to see that. Jesse! Move the car. Yeah, you want to go toboggan in there? Oh, cool. Yeah, I'll move it in a sec. Yeah, that's a good idea. Hey, get back here. I'm still a bigger fan of the A.
I'm gonna come.